Today we're heading to Standard to try to smash our opponents to death with a bunch of cheap artifact creatures in Sword of Fortune Frontier, all on just a 15 rare budget. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffrona, and it's time for another edition of Budget Magic. So this week, we're heading to Standard to play a deck I'm calling Mono White Sword Effects, basically Mono White Artifact Aggro, built around smashing our opponent with Sword of Fortune Frontier. So let's talk about the deck, jump into some games, see it in action. Oh yeah, before we do, as you can see, the budget this week, a little bit over in paper, $112 in paper. Normally try to keep it over $100. That's because this deck is more arena budget focused. There's 15 total rares and mythics. Our last standard budget Magic, the mono green deck, was really cheap in paper, but kind of expensive on arena because they had a lot of rares and mythics. So I want to make sure this one was super cheap on arena, even if the paper budget was a little bit over what we normally do. So anyway, let's talk about the deck and see if we can smash our opponent with some swords. So the idea of our deck is pretty simple. We're mono white artifact aggro. So we start off with a bunch of efficient artifact creatures, Skrelv for protection, Hotshot Mechanic, Swooping Lookout, Yotani Frontliner, a bunch of 1-drops that are artifacts, Annex Entry, some removal that's an artifact, Steel Seraph, kind of our big finisher, also gives lifelink, which is nice. So why would you load up your standard deck with a ton of artifact creatures? And there's really two answers. The first is Patchwork Automaton, which is actually super busted in a deck full of artifacts. Just a 2-mana 1/1 with board 2, but when we cast an artifact spell, we get to put a counter on it. Our deck is almost exclusively artifacts, so every spell we're casting is growing this. So this is a 2-drop that often ends up like a 5/5 or a 6/6 or a 10/10 and can just take over the game on its own. The other big payoff is Michiko's Reign of Truth. One of the sagas from Kamigawa, its first 2 lore counters are it pumps a creature equal to the number of artifacts and enchantments we control, and then it flips into a creature that does the same thing. It has that ability. So the idea is we can play all these cheap artifacts and then like use Michiko's Reign of Truth to pump Swooping Lookout and hit for like 6 or 8 in the air and close out the game super quickly. So though there's the big payoffs for being artifacts, then we have the 2 most important cards of our deck. In paper and actually on Magic Arena, we're spending a big chunk of our budget on Sword of Fortune Frontier and Invasion of Gabakhan. So Sword of Fortune Frontier, I actually really like this card. It generates card advantage, it makes us hit extra land drops, it gives us +2/+2, pro red and green, and in our post-ban standard world, pro red and green actually kind of means something again. Mono red's actually one of the most played decks in standard, so we just get protection from our opponent's deck, and then pro green is kind of relevant sometimes too. We've seen more green decks, even if it hasn't really come back. So it's a way we can draw some cards in our aggro deck. It's a way we can get in more damage. Invasion of Gabakhan, it's mostly for control, where we can get a Wrath out of our opponent's hand to buy a couple of turns to finish off the game with our attacks. But we're also a really good Gabakhan deck because we have some really easy ways of flipping it. Like turn 1 Swooping Lookout, turn 2 Gabakhan, take your best thing, turn 3 Michiko's Reign of Truth to pump it, and then just flip the Gabakhan and start the snowball and protect our team from Wrath. So we're better than most decks at actually flipping Invasion of Gabakhan. Mana base is cheap and simple as possible, 23 planes. I will say, if you have Mishra's Foundry in your collection, please put them in the mana base. That's the card I wanted to play most. In paper, it's super cheap. We could play it and it wouldn't change the budget at all. But on arena, it is a bunch more rare wild cards. So I left it out, but it is literally perfect for the deck. It's an artifact, it protects from flood, it gives us a way to close out the game after a Wrath. So if you have it, definitely throw it in. As far as the sideboard, a bunch of removal, some life claim, Calamity's Wake to deal with graveyards, and also maybe fizzle a Wrath for your turn. And that is mono white sword effects for standard. That's our budget Magic for this week. So let's jump into some games and see if we can go aggro and beat our opponent down with Sword of Fortune Frontier. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll be back in a bit for the wrap up. Need some Magic cards? Well, you can snag them from our sponsor, Card Kingdom, over at cardkingdom.com/MTG Goldfish. Budget Magic time. We are playing some mono white artifacts in standard. 1-drop Invasion of Gabakhan seems fine. Ooh, mono red. Okay. Well, we shall see. I don't know how this will go in game 1. Let's play Skrelv and pass the turn. Yeah, I feel like our opponent being on the play is going to be a pretty decent advantage here. All right, big Phoenix chick and kills the Skrelv. Yep. Gets in, hits us. Well, play, another land. Invasion of Gabakan. What do you got, opponent? 2 Thundering Rajus and a Squee. Well, we'll take the Squee since our opponent might actually be able to cast that someday. If our opponent doesn't draw lands for a bit, we might be all right. Opponent gets in, hits us. And, even more lands. All right, Invasion of Gabakan. Opponent drew a Lightning Strike. Yeah, we're kind of flooding a bit at the moment. Well, Hot Shot Mechanic, go. Opponent plays a land and goes attacking. Yeah, I mean, I guess we have to block. Yeah, this is not good. Well, not the best time for Apache. Pass the turn. Bloodthirsty adversary. No blocks? Yeah. Okay, that's 7. That's 7 lands. 7 lands out of 13 cards. Oh, that's not what you want to see in your aggro deck, that's for sure. Well, Knockout Blows in, Circle of Confinements in, maybe Circuit Menders in. Go down a couple of swords, go down all the Invasion of Gabakans. I guess a couple frontliners. The sword actually seems good. What can we cut? Maybe like a sentry. Maybe we go 1 Circuit Mender and... Well, let's try 22 lands. Maybe that's too greedy. I mean, we don't want to flood out again. That was just too many lands to really do much. All right, we get to play first. All right, that seems fine. Well, play the land, play the Skrelv. Pass the turn. And Monastery Swiftspear. Well, play the land, run out a... Let's go attacking. Hit you for 1. Play the Swooping Lookout. Pass the turn. I think we just Knockout Blow the Swiftspear here. All right, opponent runs out the Saga. All right, kills the Lookout, sure. But we have the Knockout Blow, so we get to get rid of the Swiftspear. Play the land, play the Circuit Mender. Gain a couple life. Hit you for 1. We could really use a sword. A sword would be super sweet here. And gonna kill the Skrelv. Passes. Play the sword. We did find the sword. Can we get it on a creature? Opponent. Gonna flip the faces. I mean, if we get to start getting in sword hits, I think we just win. Opponent hits us. Passes. Well, play the Skrelv. Opponent's gonna kill the Circuit Mender. We get to draw a card. Sword up the Skrelv. All right, pass the turn. We have a sword on a creature. We can't block. Down to 18. I think it's sword time. Skrelv, hit ya. Are they gonna chump with the Foundry? Oh my god, okay. Okay, that's fine. That's actually good for us. Opponent's gonna chump with the Foundry. Yeah, let's just play Patchy. Pass the turn. And opponent scoops it up. Oh my goodness. Okay. Sword power. That went pretty well. Who's the aggro deck now, Mono Red? Where's your sword? Yeah, if you're playing a monocolor deck, the sword is actually kind of a blowout if it sticks. Oh, now we gotta beat Mono Red on the play, though, which is gonna be tougher. Well, all right. We will keep this. We do have a sword. Opponent. Mountain and Phoenix check. Well, play the land and play the Skrelv. Pass the turn. When am I drawing another land? Opponent. Felden goes attacking. Well, play the land, play the, not play the Skrelv. I'll go to combat, attack. Pass the turn. Opponent. Monastery Swiftspear. And, all right, kills the Skrelv. I mean, this is kind of okay, though. So we get to Knockout Blow the Swiftspear, gain a couple life, and then we can Annex Sentry the Felden to get rid of that for now. And we're working towards... Okay, Phoenix Chick, that's fine. Hits us down to 13. Ooh, so we get to play a land. Let's play a Skrelv for protection. Sword of Fortune Frontier. Actually, we're not gonna attack this turn. We don't want to get got by some hasty attacker. Oh, Thundering Raju is the best hasty attacker. Oh no. Oh no, okay. Oh, that's real bad. Oh, that's real bad. We need a land. All right, equip the sword. Hit you with the sentry. Play the land. Play a steel seraph. Pass the turn. I don't even know if this keeps us alive, though. That Thundering Raju's so good. If we can survive this turn, we make a ton of life next turn. So, Kinzan, okay. Oh, this is gonna be so close. I think we have to chump the Thundering Raju. Oh, I don't know if that's gonna be enough. And then we can Steel Seraph lifelink. Yep. So we have to chump the Raju. We drop to 1. We play Steel Seraph. Machiko's Reign of Truth on the sentry. Give it lifelink. Hit ya. Gain 8. Sword. Oh, past the turd, but are we just dead? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think we take literally exactsies here, even if we jump. Oh, that Raju, we were so close. We almost beat Mono Red on the play. Like, we won the game where we were on the draw pretty easily. The one where our opponent was on the play, boy, we made that close. We made it really close. If it wasn't for that Thundering Raju, I think we had it. But I think, if I'm counting this right, they get 3 damage from the Thundering Raju. They put a counter on this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That adds up to exactly 9. An opponent, they see the line, but it doesn't. We needed to hit a creature. Oh, wait, we go to 1? Wait a minute. Is there a chance we win? Pump the Annex Sentry. Attack with both. Oh my goodness, we did it. I miscounted. Oh, I miscounted. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's other. Oh, it's other modified creatures. Oh, that's what I missed. Oh my goodness, we did it. We did it. Mono white artifacts. That's what I was missing. Thundering Raju deals X damage, where X is the number of modified creatures you control other than Thundering Raju. I was counting 3 damage from Raju. It's only 2 because it doesn't count itself. That was one of the closest games I have played in a long time. Well, go sort of Fortune Frontier. This hand is okay, although I'm slightly concerned about the amount of lands we have. We need a sword. We always want the sword. Just give us a sword and we'll be fine. Opponent. Oh no, even more lands. Okay, well, we're gonna do this the not great way, but boom. Skrelvia. How do you like us now, opponent? 3 to the face, opponent. Well, grow the Skelv, play the land, hot shot mechanic, hit you for 3. All right, down to 14. We have a removal spell. Opponent, armored. Oh my God, things are looking awesome. Okay, life has taken a turn for the better. We'll play a land, Annex Sentry, no scrap gorging for you. And I think we start leaving back Skrelv now. And next turn we get to start sorting, which is kind of awesome. Opponent finds a land, and Jewel Thief. Well, guess what colors we have protection from? Ooh, Steel Seraph too. Well, play the land, play the sword. Equip the sword to the portrait. And draw a couple cards we can't play, pass the turn. Well, our opponent needs a Wrath, essentially. Or else his sword is just going to end them. Courier's Briefcase, okay. Token is green, so, man, sword is like busted. I mean, if you go to kill it, we're gonna Skrelv. Yes, we will pay life. Give it hexproof white. Well then, that went pretty well. That went better than I expected. So opponent's playing some sort of 5 color, but it doesn't look like Domain. Normally Domain is playing all the Triomes, and our opponent's not playing Triomes. I don't know what our opponent's doing. What do we want against this deck? Do we change anything? Maybe we go like 2 Circle of Confinements, go down 2 Frontliners. Boy, sword is so good. I have been very impressed. I mean, I guess we've also been hitting decks where sword, the protections are relevant, but so far, like, it was great against mono red. Now we're up against a deck that's playing a lot of green creatures. It's great there. Ugh. Well, that's a lot of action. No way to cast it though. Okay, this will keep. Ooh, what do we put to the bottom? How greedy are we? Sword has been so good, we don't really want to put it to the bottom. Although maybe there's an argument for it. What we want to do is turn 1 Hot Shot, turn 2 Gabakon probably. I think we need to keep the removal spell. So I think it's either Patchy. We could put Gabakon to the bottom. We could put the sword to the bottom. There's an argument for Patchy, although then if Hot Shot dies, we just have no creatures. You know what? We're on the draw. Let's put Patchy to the bottom. Little risky to only keep 1 creature, but hopefully, I mean, our deck is full of creatures, so in theory, we should draw them, hopefully. Crystal Grotto. One of the cool lines this deck has, Loam Speaker. One of the cool lines this deck has is 1-drop, Invasion of Gabakon on turn 2, into Machiko's Reign of Truth to flip it. About it. And all right, well, there goes the Hot Shot. I'll play the land, Invasion of Gabakon. Hopefully grab a bomb of some kind. Breach the Multiverse, Lithomancer's Barrage, Render Inert. Obviously, Breach is the most powerful long term. If we take Barrage, they can still cast it. So I guess we just, yeah, let's take the Breach, play the Skrelv. They could remove the counters from our Gabakon. That'd be sweet. Opponent, Courier's Briefcase. Okay. All right, kills the Skrelv. Well, come on, creatures. That's a land. Yeah, I think we Machiko's Reign of Truth. Sort of awkward on an empty board, but it will flip into a creature eventually. Goes to combat attacks. Yup. Passes. Well, pump nothing. Play the sword. Pass the turn. Are they gonna render inert our... Oh my god, they're going Ojutai, okay. Well, that is a card that I was not expecting, but that's pretty bad for us. That we do not have a clean answer for, and it's gonna keep drawing cards and getting our opponent to the bomby stuff. Yeah, that's bad. That's real bad. We might be dying. Well, we get to flip. Play Patchy. Equip the sword. Pass the turn. I mean, we have a 6/6 pro our opponent, which is good. But our opponent has a Zergo and Ojutai, which is bad. Yeah, double Lithomancer's Barrage pretty good against us to slow us down. I mean, this is a freebie, right? Am I missing something here? 5 damage, but we have... I mean, I think this is safe. All right, kill the token, drop to 10. Maybe this is our opponent just setting up a Wrath? Yeah, the Zergo and Ojutai is a problem. Oh, that is what's happening, isn't it? Wraths are bored. We draw land and, yeah, that is fair enough. Okay, 5-color non-domain control? Okay, so I guess we bring in Destroy Evils. We want to be the aggro. That is the big one. If we can flip a Gabakon, that would be huge. I guess it's kind of unfortunate they didn't have the Zergo in hand when we cast Invasion of Gabakon. That would, yeah, let's try it like that. All right. Couple of Zergo and Ojutai answers. We are on the play. Our opponent also had double Lithomancer's Barrage, which is their best removal. We get to play first. Well, go Patchies. Don't get Lithomancer's Barrage. Do get Wrath, though. No 1-drop is kind of awkward, although Sword is sweet. The Ward is definitely nice. Well, we'll see. Land, go. Opponent. Tap land. Well, land and Patchy, go. Opponent. Please don't do too much ramping. All right. Play the Patchy. Grow the Patchy. Hot Shot mechanic. Grow both Patchies. Go attacking. Hit you up for 3. Oh, hold. Opponent. Deserted Beach and a Jewel Thief. Well, let's see if they have Depopulate. That's the card that really blows us out. Well, play the sword. Grow the Patchies. Play the land, get in for 4. I mean, that's basically it. Do you have the Wrath? That is the blowout. Opponent takes it down to 13. Untaps. Come on, no depopulate. No depopulating. Land. Urtai, that's not that good. So I guess that lets our opponent block something. We get to draw a card. Ooh, even more lands. Opponent passes. Well, play Skrelv. Trigger, trigger. Equip the sword. Go to combat, attack. Oh, is this setting up a Wrath? I mean, I feel like if they had a Wrath, they would have done it last turn instead of Urtai. Land for our opponent. Come on, we need one turn. Invasion of Amonkhet. Okay, we'll discard a land. Can they flip it? I guess if they have Render in Earth, they can flip it. All right, they cut down the Skrelv. However, we get to play a sword, grow the Patchies. This is the sword win. This is a sword win. Equip the sword. Hit you with both. Oh, swords in standard. Swords in standard. Okay, okay, okay. Against the control deck. And yeah, that was another good one. That was another good one. Sweet, 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 sweet. Budget Magic time. We are playing some arena budget this week in standard. Actually, also budget in paper, but intentionally keeping the rares and mythics low. 15 total for the whole deck. Oh, 5 lands, but patching into, you know what, we're gonna keep this. We might actually get super punished. We're playing mono white Sword of Fax, and so far Sword of Fortune Frontier has been literally an all-star, like the best card in our deck that we want every game. Whether or not this hand works, we'll see. That's always happens. You keep the 5 lander, you draw land number 6, Tenacious Underdog. Well, land and they're both bad options. Yeah, let's Gabacon. Opponent. All right, we'll take the Invasion Amonkhet. That hand looks unbeatable if our opponent draws lands. Opponent draws a land. All right, that's not ideal. Oh, no land again. Oh, okay. Unbeatable if our opponent draws lands. Also unbeatable if we keep drawing lands. Come on, not a land. Oh, game. All right, yeah, that's unfortunate. All right, so our opponent did draw 2 lands in a row to play Sheoldred. We draw, oh God. I swear that happens more than it should on Arena. Yeah, there's not even any point in showing the sword here. I swear, if you keep a 5-lander, I know it's a weird tinfoil hat thing that's not true. I know in reality it's not true, but it does feel like when you keep a land heavy hand that you're likely to keep drawing more lands. I know it's just, you know, our brains work in funny ways, the biases and so forth. However, was not great for us, to the point where I'm almost tempted to just sideboard out a land. You know what? Let's do it. Let's be greedy. 22 lands it is. So I think optimally this deck, if we weren't worried about budget on Arena, you can play Mishra's, like you can play a Ganjo, and you can also play Mishra's Foundry, and that reduces the problem of flooding out. Like if you flood out but you get a Mishra's Foundry, whatever, like you can always fire it up. If you flood out but you have a Ganjo, you can just discard it and channel it. So I think that's actually the best solution, is to like actually play 23 or 24 lands but soup up the mana base. But after our last budget deck was not very budget friendly on Arena, I wanted to make sure this one was. So Mishra's Foundry in the mana base is what got the most of the cuts, I think. Well, all right, we can kill Sheoldred. Although no 1 or 2 drops is pretty awkward. All right, land go. Opponent, island passes. Well, we will play a Steel Seraph. Counterspell number 1. Opponent plays a land in a Graveyard Trespasser. Obnoxious. We will play a Steel Seraph. Please stop killing our things, blue-black control deck. One of the upsides of this deck is our creatures are all artifacts, so Go for the Throat is bad against us. And that is the most popular removal spell. So that is a sneaky upside of playing all artifact creatures. Opponent. Kaido Shizuke. Okay, that's not ideal. Opponent's gonna start drawing cards and phases out. Well, we draw land, so we get to play the land, play a Skrelv, play a Sword of Fortune Frontier. go to combat, lifelink up the Steel Seraph, and hit ya. Unfortunately, though, our opponent gets to keep drawing cards with this Kaido. Schwamp. And cuts down the Skrelv. And goes attacking. And draws with Kaido. Yes, Kaido is kind of getting us. Down to 15. Opponent draws with Kaido. If they kill this Steel Seraph, we're in really sad shape. Well, play the land, equip the sword, pray for no removal. You can't go for the throw. Oh no, they have Shieldred's Edict. All right, that's real bad. And Eccentric. Oh God. Oh yeah, this one's over. Yeah, we're just getting Kaido'd out of this game. Opponent pre-combat drawing wants to discard this time. Apparently, goes to combat, gets in. Well, our sideboard plan of bringing in Destroy Evils, not looking great at the moment. Not looking great at them. Oh, and another sword. Yeah, okay. Well, actually, okay, now we can Destroy Evil a Graveyard Glutton. That's a thing. Maybe. Discard sword number 2 since we have no creatures anyway. This still doesn't stop us from just losing to Kaido, though, which is not great. Opponent. Invasion of Amonkhet. Mills some cards. Draws some cards. And even more Graveyard Trespassers. Yeah, at this point, even if we draw something, it doesn't matter, really. Like, we're at 9. Yeah, we're just... Makes a ninja, another land. 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, there's nothing we can draw that's gonna get us back in this one. Well, blue-black control might not be a good matchup for our deck. Today we learned sand looks pretty good, actually. Pretty aggressive. We don't have a sword. We don't have an invasion of Gabakhan, so we don't have any of our big payoffs, but yeah, I guess we can attack because they can't kill Patchy anyway. But we do have a nice little aggro start. Opponent. Rona. His opponent's playing Legends. Ooh, Patchy again. All right. Patchy number 2. Trigger. Frontliner. Trigger. Hit you with Patchy. Opponent takes the beats down to 16. Well, I mean, ooh. No black mana, just a wedding announcement. Okay, that's fine. Opponent passes. Come on, more artifacts. Opponent makes a 1/1. Well, Patchy number 3, trigger. Play a land, Machiko's Reign of Truth. Put it on the Patchy. Are we gonna use it? Do we use it now? Pro white to make our opponent block with Rona? Probably worth it. So yeah, let's go white. Attack. Opponent blocks. Takes 9. Okay. That is a lot of damage. That is a lot of damage. Opponent draws and discards. Pitches a go for the throat. Drops to 7. All right. What do you got, opponent? Scoops it up. Okay. Taking down the best deck in the format, taking down Esper, that was real good. That was real good. I think we want a bit more. Yeah, that was a Patchy game. That was Patchy going off. So I think we want some more removal. Destroy Evil, Circle of Confinement. We'll get on an Eccentric, go down a Frontliner, and go down 1 sword, probably. This is a tricky sword matchup because our opponent is in all the colors that sword doesn't care about. As an Esper deck, pro red-green does not do a ton, so I think we try something like this. This seems fine. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do we want even more removal? Maybe we want even more removal. Maybe we go down a Gabakhan or 2. Yeah, let's go 6 removal spells. Gabakhan, we'll bring it back in next game if we lose when we're on the play. I think Gabakhan on the play, a lot more exciting than Gabakhan on the draw, especially against a deck that could have Thalia. Well, I think we got to mulligan the 1-lander. We don't have anything to target with this. Yeah, we're going to mulligan. Well, okay, this we're going to keep, although it is still a 1-lander. But we're on 6, so you got to do what you got to do. Land and hotshot mechanic. We really would like to draw land. That is the biggest thing we could draw here. Denic for our opponents. Well, there's a land, so we get to get down a Patchy. Pass the turn. Opponent, please not Rafine. Wedding announcement. Well, not Rafine. Opponent gets and hits us. Gonna make a token. Well, alright. Play Machiko's Reign of Truth. Grow the Patchy. Hit you for 4. Opponent. Land. Adeleine. Okay, things are getting worse. Down to 14. Draws a card. Oh, not a land. We really wanted a land there. Well, grow the Patchy. Yeah, I think not drawing this third land, I think, is going to do us in. Grow the Hot Shot mechanic. We're just going to keep attacking until we die. Wow, opponent's actually going to trade. All right, opponent takes it. Is there any way we can just win by being aggro? Oh, no, oh, no, oh, no. Rafine. This is a problem. Yeah, Rafine's really good. Really good. Also, we didn't draw any lands, which is awkward. Getting to the Annex entry would have been helpful. Or these steal overs or something. Getting to something. Are we dead? Yeah, looks well, just Esper doing Esper things. Rafine, that is magic card. That is a magic card. We will bring back in the Gobakons on the play. Go down one more sword and go down. Let's go a Circle of Confinement. Run it like that. All right, so we're on the play. Let's get a nice aggro beatdown start. Also, no Rafines. No Rafines for our opponent would be great. We would accept the no Rafine draw. We'll play first. All right, I mean, we have a bunch of weird removal. This is, at some point, I really want to pull off the flip the Gobakon right away thing with Machiko's Reign of Truth, but we never seem to draw them both at the same time. Get in, hit ya. Well, I think we're on the, like, Annex Entry tempo line here. So pump the Skrelv, play the land, Annex Entry. Get rid of the Rona, hit you with the Skrelv. Opponent. Land. Wedding announcement. Well, we flip. Play the Swooping Lookout. Get in with Annex Entry. Yeah, I think we wait one more turn. We could run this out just to get rid of the token, but our opponent could definitely play something that's better here. Raven Man. Passes, makes a token. Okay. Well, play the land. Play Patchy. Play Annex Entry. Get rid of the Raven Man. Well, I mean, the question's gonna be, does our opponent have a Wrath? Do they have a Wrath? Okay, wedding announcement. That's not a Wrath, though. So opponent gets to keep making 1/1s, but we just get to keep attacking them, and hopefully they die someday. Another land's not great. I'll go to combat, attack. Actually, maybe we just lose to wedding announcements. Yeah, not hitting a land. Hitting land number 6 is pretty bad. Start activating Skrelv. We might. Oh, it's so risky, but I think we have to. Go attacking. I think we have to. We have to force through the damage because this is not going to get better. All right, hit you down to 6, but we got no protection past the turn. Lauren of the Third Path, that's actually pretty bad. That is actually an answer to the portrait, unfortunately. Okay. Oh, we need an artifact. We need any artifact and we can go for the win. That's a Patchy. Okay, play Patchy. Trigger. Skrelv the Patchy on white. Oh, they have the Kanjo! Oh no! Oh no, opponent goes to 1. But I don't know if we can get into the past 1. If our opponent plays a creature of another color, we can't get in the last points of damage. Oh! Okay, oh no, Rafine, that's gonna draw a ton of cards. Oh no. Opponent with the big attack. Oh my goodness, it all comes down to this. It all comes down to this. Opponent needs to hit a non-white creature or a removal spell for Patchy, and they need to hit it right now. They need a non-white creature that they can cast right now. Opponent hits us. Block and block, that's kind of free. What did they find? What did they find? That doesn't look like it. That doesn't look like it. Skrelv? White? Attack? No way. No way. No way. Oh no. And now we lose. Oh my goodness, they drew into Aggro number 3. Almost took down the best deck in Standard with our mono white budget artifact deck. We were so close. At this point, though, I don't think we can get through the last point of damage. There's no way. Our opponent just gets to draw too many cards. Like, there's no way it's gonna happen. Opponent combat. Attacks. Because all our opponent needs is a blocker of another color, and this whole thing falls apart. Opponent discards some lands. Hits us. Wow, that Aggro off the top. Land for our opponent. Looking at our Annex entries. Runs out in Urtai to kill the Skrelv. We draw land number 8. And also an Adeline. And we don't have an answer for Urtai. And Urtai is just too expensive for us to get with Annex entry. Not that we have the Skrelv anymore anyway, and that does it. That was a heartbreaker just because we had the best deck full of all the mobs, 50 rares and mythics on the ropes, and well, I mean, that shows the power of Rafine. Like, the ability just to loot to find whatever you need. We were so close. I will also complain a little bit that we also ended up drawing a ton of lands again, which is unfortunate. But yeah, that does do it. Wow. 1 point short. Stand looks fine. I mean, no sword, but we got a nice little curve of artifact creatures. Probably go, what, turn one Skrelv, I think. Hello, friend. What are you up to, Hellmaster? Oh, all right. Ichor Drinker. Well, play the land, play the Swooping Lookout, play the Frontliner, pass the turn. Passes. I think we start dealing a bit of damage. Machiko's Reign of Truth on the lookout. Go to combat. Hit ya, pump the lookout. Opponent, gonna trade. Yeah, that is it's a pretty good artifact bird there. Not horrible. Another Ichor Drinkor, and opponent scoops it up. Easy mode. Okay, so, I mean, opponent did mulligan a lot, I will say. I think what we're gonna do, without knowing much about our opponent's deck, do we even want the Destroy Evil? They could have Sheoldred. Let's try it like this. We did not see much out of our opponent's deck. I think we're gonna go down Invasion of Gabakon, since we're on the draw, bring in 3 removal spells, hopefully win, but worst case, get more information about what our opponent's actually trying to do. Well, okay, we have the control hand. Opponent. Another Ichor Drinker. Ichor makes way more sense, but some people say Ichor. Ichor just doesn't make sense to me. Varad. Oh, they're a sack deck. I see. Is that a vampire? It is. Haha. Wait, doesn't that do something about vampires? Oh, if they cast another Varan, it matters. Urabrox's Forge. Yeah, that's an issue. That is an issue. How do we beat an Urabros Forge? Do we ever beat an Urabros Forge? Is this a vampire too? It is. So we need to build a big threat so this Steel Seraph can gain us life. Do we just have to play Steel Seraph? If it dies, it'd be bad. I think we wait. Yeah, let's just Annex entry. Annex entry, get rid of the dork. This also gives us a blocker, maybe. Opponent. Bloated Processor. On the go for the throat plan. Opponent gonna go attacking. I mean, we are gonna block. I don't think there's a way we get punished by this. Oh, they get to start sacking it? Ooh, okay. It can't sack itself though, right? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So play the land. Circle of Confinement. Get rid of the processor. Hotshot Mechanic. Swooping Lookout. Go attacking. Is there a way we can race this Urabros Forge though? Opponent, even more processors. And an Ichor Drinkor. Yeah, gonna go attacking, hits us for 3. Sure. Well, play Patchy. Play a land. Steel Seraph. Target the lookout. lifelink. Down to 19. Yeah, this Forge is really strong. We have a bunch of bodies, but our opponent has an Urbra's Forge, which is apparently better than all of the random white artifact creatures in Standard. Opponent going to sack. Okay. Wow. Okay, that's also incredibly bad for us. Oh, we're super dead. We are super dead. I do not think there's a draw in our deck that saves us from this. Yeah, we did not come prepared to deal with Urbra's Forge. Opponent's gonna look at these synergies. Opponent's going off with the Phyrexians. We draw another land, and yeah, that one will do it. Okay, well now we know what our opponent's doing, which we didn't get to see in game number 1. Yeah, we don't have a way to just straight up kill it. I think on the play we're gonna go back up the Gobakons. I think flipping Gobakon is part of our plan now. Let's look up Urbra's Forge. It's a red creature, right? Create a X1 red Phyrexian Aura. Okay, so the sword could let us play defense. We do want the removal. I think we want the Gobakons. Maybe we go 3 Gobakons. Maybe that's fine. What if we go 3 Gobakons? We want the removal. What is our last cut? We could go greedy and cut a land. Our curve isn't that hot. You know what? Let's do it. Let's be greedy. 22 lands. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Show us that dream draw deck. Come on. Come on, deck. Wow, Bloated Processor looked impressive that game with Forge. I don't think I've ever seen a good Bloated Processor deck, but this might be the one. Okay. I mean, we got the Gobakon and we got the sword. We would like the Swooping Lookout to live. Oh, play the land. Invasion of Gobakon. Corrupted Conviction. Grafted Butcher. Bloated Processor. Urbra's Forge. Take the Grafted Butcher. Hit the Gobakon. Opponent. Land. Passes. Oh, play the land. Play a Gobakon. Take the Urbra's Forge. Hit the Gobakon. We could use another creature one of these days. Bloated Processor. Well, play the land. Play Annex Sentry. Get rid of the Processor. Flip the Gobakon. Pass the turn. Oh, is this finally the Gobakon game? Processor. If they go for removal here, we are going to sack the Light Shield Array and then flip another Gobakon. Okay, Lithomancer's Barrage. Well, can't be countered, but we can still gain Hexproof. Circle of Confinement. Get rid of the Processor. Flip the Gobakon. Grow the Dorks. Pass the turn. Opponent land. Urbra's Forge. All right. Opponent passes, makes a 1/1. Goes attacking. We will kill it. We would kind of like to draw land for this sword, I think. Untap. Well, there's a land. Play the land. Play the sword. Sword on the Swooping Lookout. Sword things. Play the land, play the Skrelv. Those are actually 2 amazing hits. Get counters. Vron, okay. Makes a dork, sure. Goes to combat. I mean, if they go for removal, we are gonna sack this Light Shield. So opponent gets to gain a little life. We sack the Light Shield for Hexproof. Circle of Confinement. Go after the Vron. Opponent can, and opponent scoops it up. Whoa, sword power. Sword power. That was the first game. I was wondering, because if you look at our deck list, Invasion of Gobakon is, well, I guess sword is technically the most expensive card. We have 2 expensive cards, sword and Invasion of Gobakon. And I was wondering, like, is Gobakon worth it? It feels like against control, we really need it to slow down Wrath, but we really hadn't gone off with it. We had been sideboarding it out, play draw. That game, that was a Gobakon win. Like, yeah, we also had removal and we also drew the sword to like keep chaining stuff together, but those Gobakons, it took 2 of them. We used 2 to slow our opponent down, and then sacking both of them to fizzle removal actually was exactly what we needed to win the game. So opponent's deck was sweet. I did like our opponent's deck. I think that's a cool synergy. The Urbra's Forge Bloated Processor synergy is actually really sweet and might be worth exploring more. Maybe we gotta try a sack deck at some point, but for now we will celebrate the power of swords in Standard. So what did we learn this week about mono white sword effects in Standard? And overall, we ended up going 3-3 with the deck, which, for playing like 15 total rares, a pretty budget-friendly deck at Mythic on Arena, that's a pretty good record. Actually, it was even a little better than that, because our third loss, the one that you didn't see, we played blue-black control twice in a row, and I scooped on like turn 3 of game 1 when I realized we were just playing the same matchup again. So that wasn't even really a real loss, although honestly, we probably would have lost, because that felt like a really tough matchup. So what did we learn about this deck? And the deck actually felt really good. Like, if you look at our wins, we took down mono red, we beat a 5-color control deck. One of our losses was that Esper game that came down to 1 single point of life, and we were so close to winning that one as well. So the deck actually felt surprisingly competitive. The plan of just like being aggro with artifacts and like growing a patchwork and getting in Steel's Air for some life gain, it worked really well. We got to see Sword of Fortune Frontier be game ending in some matchups. We played against mono red and they just couldn't beat the sword. That was like the card that let us win. And even in matchups where it wasn't good, like our last match against the Rakdos Sacrifice deck, where the protection was like kind of medium, I guess it helped against Urbra's Forge tokens, but we weren't just like constantly being able to smash our opponent because of the protections. It was still just like generating card advantage and growing our creatures. So I actually think that the swords, especially Sword of Fortune Frontier, is kind of a sleeper for Standard that people aren't really picking up on yet. Of course, like Machiko's Reign of Truth is just ridiculous. That's a card that makes the deck really scary, and we had to see our deck get off to some really fast starts because of that card in specific. So I don't know, if you like artifacts and like sword hits and like being a little bit aggressive, I actually think this is a pretty solid arena budget option to play in Standard. As far as upgrades for the deck, I'm actually pretty happy with the main deck non-land cards. Like, if we were playing a non-budget version of this deck, it would be very close to the same. What would change the most is the mana base. I talked about it a little bit during the deck tech, but Mishra's Foundry is a huge addition. Like, a place at a Foundry is such a big upgrade for the deck. So I would throw that in. I'd probably throw in a Mirrex or two as a creature land, and then I would play some Ganjos, just have some removal in the mana base. So that's the easiest place to soup up the deck. It's a lot more rare wild cards, but I think as far as like actually being as competitive as possible, it's definitely worth it. And then the other place you could see some changes is maybe in the sideboard. Like, you could throw in Wandering Emperors, just some like resilient good cards for the control matchup. That was definitely our toughest matchup. It felt like our deck was really good against aggro, pretty good against mid-range, and then control is where it's a little sketchy because we just like dump our hand and then they wrath and we're really sad. Sometimes we can get them with like Invasion of Gabakhan or just by pumping with Machiko's Reign of Truth to win before the wrath, but that felt like the hardest matchup. So I think maybe some sort of resilient card advantage engine, maybe Wedding Announcement in the sideboard for control could be really good. Maybe Planeswalkers of some kind, Elspeth or Wandering Emperors, to have this repeatable value engine. I think that would really help show up the control matchup. Also, in non-budget mode, the other thing you can do to really shore up the control matchup is just splash into blue. If you look at Standard in general, blue and white are like the best artifact colors. There's a bunch of extra payoffs, various Urzas and so forth, that are in Azorius. So if you go into blue, you'll get a little bit more for the main deck. You'll also get Spell Pierces and Negates and Disdainful Strokes in the sideboard. So if control's too much of an issue, I think that's like the get out of jail free way to go. It's going to cost way more wild cards, because then you need all the blue dual lands, and then you're going to need these sideboard cards. So it's going to make the deck way more expensive on Arena, but it would really improve the control matchup to just be able to like dump your hand and kind of do the tempo plan, dump your hand to these aggressive threats, and then when your opponent goes to Wrath to try to like ruin your day, just Spell Pierce it or negate it and keep going to town and close out the game quickly. So anyway, that is sort of facts for Standard. That's been our budget magic for this week. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon.